Wow, so Jalen Hurts is making a statement during Eagles training camp as he just had his best performance yet during the Birds open practice at the Linc, which only continues his incredibly hot start to camp. And it honestly seems like Jalen is ready to come out and have his best season yet, so let's break it all down. Meanwhile, Eagles 6th round rookie Johnny Wilson is impressing during practice, and it seems like he could actually be making a push to start as the Eagles wide receiver 3 this season. Plus, AJ Brown revealed that he's been, quote, picking fights with rookie Quinyon Mitchell during practice, while Dallas Goedert dominated during practice at the Linc, and the Eagles put on a show. So let's talk about that and all the other latest news. And we won't waste any time, let's get straight into it. So let's start off with CJ Gardner-Johnson, as ever since the safety return to Philly, it's clear that he's brought some toughness and swagger back to the Eagles defense and locker room, and it's also clear that he's just a fun guy to have around and someone who brings a lot of energy and positive vibes back to the team. And that's on full display in this video of him hitting this shot to get the Eagles out of a team meeting.
That's all.
Yeah, safe to say this guy's a dog, and it's easy to see why he's a fan favorite in Philly. And again, you just love to see the chemistry and vibes in that room, as something about this team just feels special. So drop a like down below for that, and you guys crushed it getting to 500 likes on the last video, so let's see if we can get to 600 today. And moving on here, I kind of get a similar special feeling about rookie cornerback Quinyon Mitchell, as the Toledo product has had an extremely impressive start to camp, getting more and more first team reps as time goes on and playing different positions. Plus, he also held his own against AJ Brown on back-to-back reps in Tuesday's practice. And I know I'm a bit late to this, but we do have a video of one of those reps in which AJ fakes left but Mitchell doesn't bite before going up and high pointing a ball in the back of the end zone with one hand, but Mitchell had the awareness to push him out of bounds. So overall, I definitely say the Rook won that rep, and it's just so exciting to see him already performing well at camp and holding his own against an all-pro receiver like AJ Brown. Speaking of which, it seems like AJ knows that Quinyon has just insane potential, as ahead of the Eagles open practice, he said that he's made an effort to set up those 1v1s and kind of, quote, pick fights with Quinyon during practice, and he also said that he thinks him and Mitchell are actually developing a good relationship.
That's not by design. That's me kind of picking a fight with him, trying to get him going. You know, like he says, he likes to talk trash at me, but I'm just picking a fight with him to make practice very interesting. But he's not phased. He's not phased. He has been doing a great job, and we've been battling on the one-on-one. I don't know. I think I'm kind of building a relationship with him because I don't think he's soft-spoken anymore. You know, me and his relationship, it's a lot of going back and forth. But you see, if you continue to talk to him and spend time with him, he'll open up to you as he has with me. So
yeah, this is awesome because not only are those 1v1s good for Quinyon and his development on the field, but it's also cool to hear that AJ seems to be kind of taking Mitchell under his wing a little bit. And again, these 1v1s and the competitiveness and trash talk are only going to make Quinyon better and help prepare more as he makes his transition to the NFL. And another guy who seems to have taken a Rook under his wing a little bit is Jalen Hurts, as he seems to be slowly building a connection with the rookie wide receiver Johnny Wilson, as Wilson has been impressive in camp so far leading up to Thursday's public practice, with Tuesday specifically being a big day for him, as in one-on-ones he made a couple nice catches, with the most notable one being a jump ball in the end zone that he came down with over cornerback Eli Ricks. But Jalen wasn't surprised by this, as him and Wilson have been working hard to build a connection all offseason, and that includes getting some throwing sessions in together during the summer. And Hurts spoke to their preparation together and Wilson's performance on Thursday.
The goal is to put the work in. You want to put the work in and let the work, have confidence in the work rather. Put the work in and have confidence in the work. And I'll give you an example of that and how that showed up. We did one-on-ones the other day, and there was, Johnny Wilson shows up and makes 2 big-time catches, but I tell him it's no surprise when you prepare, for those situations and you put the time in like that in the offseason and you spend that quality time together. So it shows.
Yeah, I know it's a cliche, but there's a reason why people say that hard work always pays off. And maybe his extra work with Jalen in the offseason could be one of the reasons why Wilson has been able to have an impressive camp so far and earn some first-team reps. And who knows, if he keeps it going, maybe there could actually be a chance of him earning a role on this team as a red zone threat, or maybe even more this season. But moving on, the Eagles' public practice at the Linc obviously just happened on Thursday night, and Johnny Wilson continued to make his case for why he should have a chance to start at wide receiver 3, as the rookie continued to get a bunch of first-team reps with the offense during practice, and he was targeted a few times. One where he caught the ball in front of cornerback Keely Ringo. Now, Ringo did get a measure of revenge a bit later when he forced an incompletion on a throw to Wilson in the end zone, but still, it is very interesting to see Wilson getting the opportunities that he has during camp, and again, it seems like he might actually have a chance to maybe carve himself out a role in this team, or maybe possibly even start if he plays well enough. And Eagles reporter Zach Berman seems to agree with that, as he recently tweeted out, quote, "Johnny Wilson continues to work with the ones. This is not just camp rotation type stuff, he's in the mix." And interestingly enough, Nick Sirianni actually talked about the wide receiver 3 position specifically during his pre-practice press conference, and he hinted that it could end up being a combination of multiple different guys rather than just one to fill that spot.
Again, when you have a receiving core, you're looking for different skill sets. And so you can run different styles of plays, get the guys the ball different ways, with as far as the number 3 receiver, I mean it can be a lot of different things, but you need different types of skill sets, and I'm really excited about the skill sets we have at the number 3 receiver. And it doesn't have to be all from one guy, right? It could be Johnny Wilson's blocking, Paris Campbell's ability to run with the ball in his hands and do different things with the ball in his hands. It could be John Ross's speed. And so, yeah, I mean, you're looking for different things and on different plays. It could be Britton Covey's ability in the slot. So, again, it's not one person has to fill the role of anything, and it could. I mean, we're far away from having to play that, and some games could look different than others. But like I said the other day, I'm really excited about this depth that we have here at wide receiver position and all the different skill sets that we have.
So I definitely think this is interesting, but I'm not going to lie, I actually like it, because I think the Eagles do have a good amount of receivers with a variety of different skill sets, all of which have flashed at camp, and I feel like the Eagles could pick and choose between the guys to put out there at wide receiver 3 in different situations. Now, obviously camp has just started, and one guy may emerge as the clear favorite a bit later, and I think right now the favorite is still probably Paris Campbell, but everyone's been making plays, with Johnny Wilson obviously making a push recently, while John Ross also clearly is competing, and his elite speed adds a very unique element to the Eagles offense. And then even Britton Covey got some first-team reps in the slot today, and he's been performing well at camp. So if it does end up being a committee approach to the wide receiver 3 spot, like Sirianni alluded to, I don't think I'd be too mad at it with the guys the Birds have. But now getting back to Thursday's open practice, to start things off, the Birds took the field at the Linc in front of an awesome crowd of what was reportedly nearly 50,000 fans, and safe to say everybody was fired up to get an up-close and personal look at the 2024 Philadelphia Eagles for the first time. And one guy fans were really excited to see was Saquon Barkley, as when he took the field for the first time, he received a standing ovation from the fans, and it was just awesome to see clips of him walking around and doing drills in Eagles green, because I'm telling you, it's been 5 months since the Birds signed the guy, and it still just doesn't feel real, but he's here and he got the Philly crowd hyped up to begin practice. But perhaps nobody got the crowd more hyped than Jalen Hurts. Yeah, Hurts reportedly got the loudest cheers from the fans and also got MVP chants, so safe to say that the Philly faithful is fully behind QB1 heading into the season, and that excitement from the fans partially could be because of just how great Jalen has looked to start camp, and he only continued his amazing play at the Eagles open practice. So we're going to get into that and so much more in just a minute, but real quick, I do want to say, if you are enjoying this video and don't want to miss any other Eagles training camp coverage or just Eagles coverage in general coming in the future, make sure you subscribe, and also really importantly, turn on notifications so you're notified instantly when any videos just like this are uploaded. I think that's a win-win for the both of us, because not only do I get more people watching the videos, but you don't miss any other Eagles coverage just like this following the Eagles year-round. So again, make sure you subscribe and also hit that notification bell, and also hit the like button if you haven't done so already. And with all that being said, let's get back into the video. So as I was saying, Jalen Hurts was just incredible once again in the Eagles open practice, as he absolutely shredded the defense in what was reportedly Jalen's best practice at camp so far, which is just crazy to say considering how many great practices that he's had so far. Now, Hurts started out 7 for 8 on the day with 2 touchdown passes on 2 drives and a very impressive deep throw to A.J. Brown, where the throw was placed perfectly so Brown could catch it in stride for 40+ yards after he beat Darius Slay. And Hurts wasn't done, as later in practice, Jalen found Dallas Goedert for a 30-plus yard touchdown with pressure right in his face, making that his 3rd touchdown throw on the day. Now, Hurts did almost throw his first interception at camp during this practice specifically, to Bryce Huff of all people, who just couldn't hang on to the pass intended for John Ross, so that was an impressive play by the new edge rusher, but Hurts was unfazed as he ended off practice by throwing an amazing 25-plus yard touchdown pass to Kenneth Gainwell, who beat linebacker Nakobe Dean on a wheel route. And overall, it was just another awesome day for Hurts, who finished 19 for 24 in his throws with a whopping 5 touchdown passes and no interceptions. Now mind you, last practice, Jalen had 6 touchdowns, but it was mainly because the Eagles ran a ton of red zone drills. But on Thursday, Jalen had 5 touchdowns, mostly in just standard team drills going up and down the field, which is just absolutely incredible. And really, I think Jalen has just been sending a message to the league during camp so far. I mean, he's been lights out, and it seems like he's super comfortable in this new offense. And I'm telling you, man, I feel like he's about ready to come out here and have his best season yet. But what do you guys think? What do you expect from Jalen this season, and how do you feel about his camp performances so far? And someone else who also had a big day for the offense was tight end Dallas Goedert, as in addition to that last touchdown catch that he had for over 30 yards, he was also the recipient of 2 others from Hurts earlier. So it was 3 offensive drives and 3 touchdowns for Goedert to start the day, so that had to feel pretty good for him. Plus, he also had a 2-point conversion later in practice. And overall, I think this just goes to show you that Goedert and the tight ends are going to be a big part of this offense this year, as after a season where I feel like Goedert was pretty underutilized in 2023, Kellen Moore has now taken over and seemingly changed things, with reports coming out that tight ends will be a bigger part of this offense, and Goedert himself saying that adjustments have been made to the offense to get the tight ends more involved. So overall, I just love this, and again, if he can stay healthy, I'm expecting big things from Goedert this year. And someone else I'm expecting big things from is DeVonta Smith, as Skinny Batman is also somebody who has had a great training camp so far, and he's performed so well that his fellow receiver AJ Brown thinks that he's ready to take another leap forward this season.
Nobody has been able to cover DeVonta all camp. He's been having an amazing camp. You know, I'm expecting Smitty to take another jump, you know, because he definitely has all the tools, and for me, sitting on the side watching him, I know how hard he works. So, you know, so it just makes everybody around him better, you know, so that's what we want.
So I love the sound of that, and it's really no surprise because, for one, we know how hard Smitty works and just how talented he is, but I also have been saying all offseason that Kellen Moore coming in and taking over the offense is really going to benefit DeVonta Smith so much, as he's going to put him in motion a ton and use him in a variety of different spots that are going to set him up for success. And really, the changes to the offense just play to Smitty's strengths as an elite route runner, a super shifty player, and just an overall great all-around receiver. And I really just can't wait to watch DeVonta in the offense this year, because I truly do believe that they're going to be something special. But now switching over to the defense, we actually do have some interesting positional battle updates. As for the corners, it was Isaiah Rodgers who got the start for the 2nd practice in a row and for his 3rd practice overall, so he and Ringo are now tied, each with 3 starts so far, so it's safe to say that both these guys are really fighting hard for this starting job. Now, before practice, AJ Brown was asked about Rodgers, and the all-pro wide receiver had some really nice praise for the cornerback.
He's been doing a really good job for a guy that hasn't played football over a year. You know, it looked like he hasn't missed a beat. You know, he's challenging me every time I go against him. When I watch him on film, you can just tell, like, he loves the game. You can tell he misses the game too. You know, and he's hungry. So I'm excited for him. He's gonna be a huge piece for us. You know, give us some energy on the back end. You know, so.
So it's awesome to hear that Rodgers is hungry and also challenging AJ at practice. And you heard Brown also say there that he thinks that Rodgers is going to be a huge piece for them in the back end of their defense. So I don't know if that means that AJ thinks it'll be Rodgers starting, but I'll just leave it at that. And then meanwhile, the battle at linebacker took an interesting turn when it was Nakobe Dean out there with the ones to start out practice. However, things didn't necessarily go his way on Thursday, as running back Kenneth Gainwell owned him all night and made him look bad on several plays, mainly in the passing game, as at one point Gainwell broke Dean's ankles and he then turned the missed tackle into a ton of extra yards, and later on the wheel route touchdown that Gainwell had, he beat Dean once again. So overall, safe to say it was not the best day for Nakobe as he's trying to fight for the starting job. Now moving on though, we also saw our first interception at training camp so far, with Eli Ricks picking off Kenny Pickett to end practice. Now, to be fair to Kenny, it was an end-of-game heave situation, but still interesting that it took this long to see our first pick, and also this is surely a good thing for Ricks, who's currently fighting for a roster spot this summer. Now, open practice was certainly fun and super eventful, but Eagles training camp is just getting started, and I'm going to be covering everything from that as well as the preseason, which is going to start up here real soon, and also just when the regular season starts. So again, if you don't want to miss any of that, make sure you subscribe, and also really really importantly, turn on notifications. And also, while you're at it, make sure you drop a like to show some support on this video. It really does help me out a ton, and I'd greatly appreciate it. And also leave a comment down below just regarding anything that I talked about in this video. And also, if you want to watch another video going over how Gardner-Johnson is transforming the Eagles defense and their attitude, you can check this one out right here. And now with all that being said, that's pretty much all I got for this one, guys. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.